Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So Nvidia is unlaunching one of their recently announced cards, and will Gotham Knights be locked to 30 frames per second? We have those topics and more to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, and we can keep you up to date with gaming news. Now let's get started. So a few weeks ago, Nvidia revealed the RTX 40 series cards, and we touched on that briefly. Well, it looks like they're pulling one of those announced cards. We have the announcement here from Nvidia.com, unlaunching the 12GB 4080. The RTX 4080 12GB is a fantastic graphics card, but it's not named right. Having two GPUs with the 4080 designation is confusing. So we're pressing the unlaunch button on the 4080 12GB. The RTX 4080 16GB is amazing and on track to delight gamers everywhere on November 16th. Now, I hadn't really paid much attention to some of the specs on these cards outside of some of their performance graphs that they had released. I think most people usually wait until third parties review them. But something I didn't catch is that this 12GB card has different specs on the GPU, so it's not just a memory difference. And IGN has a pretty good graph here from when these cards first got announced, and we're looking at the second and third columns here, and the bottom three lines is the thing that I noticed. So you can see the RTX 4080 16GB model has more ray tracing cores, tensor cores, and CUDA cores than the 12GB model. So while they're calling this a 4080, the GPUs are definitely different here. And I have to wonder if Nvidia is pulling this 12GB model because some of the backlash that we're seeing online. And could they be wondering, if we call both of these cards 4080s and definitely the GPUs are different, could it be subject to some type of class action lawsuit? And I do find it interesting in Nvidia's announcement that they said that the graphics card's just not named right, so they're pressing the unlaunch button. So they don't really give an indication here as to whether they're going to try to launch this later with a different name. It seems like if that was going to be the case, they could just rebrand it and go ahead and launch it. So if you were looking at getting that 12GB 4080, you're just going to have to pick something different. Next, we've been seeing some posts online about Gotham Knights from people who have actually got to play a few hours of the game. And there seemed to be a consistent note that most people were saying is that the game seems to be locked at 30 frames per second. Well, we actually had that confirmed by one of the execs on their Discord server, and it says here, "I know many of you are wondering about the availability of a performance mode for Gotham Knights on consoles. Due to the types of features we have in our game, like providing a full untethered co-op experience and our highly detailed open world, it's not as straightforward as lowering the resolution and getting a higher frames per second. For this reason, our game does not have a performance/quality toggle option and will run at 30 frames per second on consoles." And you can just see the reactions here to this announcement. Most people are not liking this. But let me know what your thoughts are. I know some games like maybe turn-based RPGs, you may not care as much about the frames per second, but it seems like an action game like this, that 60 FPS might be very beneficial. Next, it looks like we got some clarification about that cell phone requirement for Modern Warfare 2. This is coming from the Call of Duty blog. It says, "A text-enabled mobile phone number is required to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on PC. Existing Call of Duty Warzone players that have previously verified their account will not be required to provide any additional information to access Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0. So basically they clarified that this is only going to be required for PC users and not for console users. And if we skip down, they clarify why they're requiring a phone number. It says SMS verification is critical to our anti-cheat enforcement efforts tackling illicit account creation at its source. This helps our security team to maintain account and game security in order to provide a safe, fair, and fun gaming experience for all of our players. And we also had some rumors that they were selling these phone numbers, and they clarified that at the very bottom here, saying the SMS requirement for game access is used for security purposes only. Call of Duty does not use SMS verification data for marketing purposes. So I'm guessing why they don't have this SMS requirement on consoles is it's easy enough to block an entire console from playing, and it is generally more difficult to modify the code of these games that are playing on a console. Now, from my understanding, Overwatch 2 is still going to require a phone number for verification even on consoles. But let me know if you think this is a little more reasonable policy only to require the phone number for PC players. And finally, we have a patch for Nintendo Switch Sports that had to be revoked. We have the tweet here from Nintendo of America. A bug has been found in the Nintendo Switch Sports version 1.2.1 update, which caused the software to close during the pre-match loading screen. This is unfortunately affecting both online and offline play modes. We have therefore temporarily suspended the rollout of this update. While we investigate to find a solution, Nintendo Switch Sports servers will be temporarily taken offline and online play will not be available during this time. Save data backup is also temporarily suspended. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Now, no timeline has been set for when online play will be back up, but it could be up by the time this video goes live. However, I have a feeling this may take a few weeks to get straightened out. Now, if you remember, golf was one of the games that was scheduled to be added this fall and was recently delayed to the holiday season. And I have to wonder if this recent patch snafu might delay golf even further. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? Do you think Gotham Knights will be just fine running at 30 frames per second? And do you think only requiring a cell phone number for PC players is a reasonable policy? Drop a comment about those topics or anything else we covered today. I want to thank you for watching and be good.